Northeast is the call to make. Whether you're buying your first home or you're a seasoned investor, Terry Kilakos and his team of mortgage and real estate brokers can help. It's simple and it's free. Make your dreams come true. Call Northeast.
Good afternoon, everyone. You're listening to The Real Estate Show. I'm your host, Terry Kilakos, Chartered Real Estate and Mortgage Broker Extraordinaire, as well as President of Northeast Real Estate and Mortgage Agency, as well as CBC Alliance. And today, we are going to be talking about selling and buying. How to properly coordinate your property for the most efficient sale, as well as the most efficient purchase possible. Joining me, we have my beautiful co-host, Merav Marciano, Chartered Real Estate and Mortgage Broker and Vice President of Northeast and CBC Alliance.
Hey.
What's going on?
I'm excited about today's subject. So many people want to sell. They worry about what's going to happen. Am I going to find a place? How do I coordinate all of this?
Sure.
And you know what? We specialize in this, so definitely I'm excited about talking about this.
100%. Feel free to reach us online at www.nordest.ca, and you can also visit us on our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/Northeast Nordest and facebook.com/CBC Alliance Quebec. And if you haven't done so already, for shame, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is newsonthego.ca. And I did make mention last year that I was going to change the name, and I made mention this year and the year before that. Haven't done so yet, but for now, we'll just keep calling it News on the Go until I change it. So
Well, I don't want anyone calling you a politician, not keeping his promises.
Oh, dude, seriously? Oh, my God.
Okay, cut.
No. There's no cutting. All right. So let's talk now, okay? So you're selling. Imagine yourself in a situation here. You want to sell your home. You want to buy another one. And you find yourself in a situation where maybe you've sold your home and you can't find something else, right? Because there's no inventory. Mm-hmm. So obviously the planning has to come in before you actually go ahead and make the transaction, you know, the first steps of the transaction, which is going to be the purchase, right? So the sale, sorry, exactly. So in this market, did I say purchase? Yes. Sale.
Okay.
Forgive me. So in this market, it's important to be able to coordinate the sale of a property and the purchase of another property properly, right?
Yeah,
There's a lot of keys in there.
It could be an extremely stressful thing to go through. Because, you know, you end up putting your house on the market. It sells quickly. It is a seller's market.
Yep.
And here you go now. Okay, now where do I go?
Exactly.
So you definitely have to plan the whole thing from A to Z properly, and ideally with the same broker so that they know, you know, exactly what your plan is and how to coordinate all these dates, the amounts that you're going to need out of the sale, whatever it is that is going to be coming out of the sale and out of the purchase. It needs to coordinate properly.
And you need to be able to calculate, and a good real estate broker, and of course your mortgage broker as well, is going to be able to help you determine how much funds you're going to have when you're going through that process, when you're going through that sale. What's going to be left over? Because once you know how much is going to be left over, then you can effectively make the next move to properly coordinate. So, you know, at the risk of tooting our own horns, this is what we do at Northeast, right? I mean, we specialize in this. We have people that'll come, they're going to list their house. They obviously need to buy something else. Very few decide to sell and go and rent, or they move out of the country. The majority of them are selling because they're buying something else. And in some cases, people are upgrading. In other places, people are downgrading. Now, the interest, yes, people will... Well, I don't want to say downgrade, but downsizing. Sorry. Downsizing. I think that's a better way of saying it. It is important to understand that the people that handle your transaction, that team that handles the buy and sell of your property, including setting up mortgages or setting up potentially not having a mortgage or a line of credit or something like that, they need to work together and work effectively as a team to make sure that you have the smoothest possible transaction occur, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So it is important that you use a broker who will not just help you sell your house properly at top dollar, which, not to say anything, but nowadays it's much easier to sell a house.
Yeah.
So the real estate broker who really shines is the one who is able to help you buy a house in this market. So the listing broker is going to help you sell that house properly. You're going to get top dollar for it. Obviously, they're going to give you all the right advice. But then finding a house to buy you is a little bit more
challenging at times.
Yeah, challenging, because nowadays there's not a lot of inventory. Every house that comes on the market, it's multiple offers. So you really, really have to be on top of things as a broker representing a buyer. So you definitely have to find the right person or even the right team to work for you.
100%. I want to go off on a little bit of a tangent, because one of the questions that comes up all the time, and it happened this week, where there was a young couple that they were actually selling their condo and they were upgrading to what they called their forever home. Okay. So they're like, we moved into this condo when we first got together. Now we had a child. They're actually pregnant with another child, and they want to get a home before the other child is born. Finding a property was challenging, but our brokers actually ended up getting them that property. They ended up buying before selling. Okay. Now, once the people that decided to buy their house, okay, so because eventually they ended up putting it up on the market, whatever.
Okay.
And that offer had come in this past week. The people that were actually buying that property wanted to take possession of the property after the date that they were going to be buying our couple was going to be buying the house. Okay. Which means that the down payment funds were not available.
So just to recap, so that I understand.
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Because you added a lot of buying.
See, I know. Go for it. Recap.
So recap.
Gather my brain together.
This
is why I'm married to this woman. Okay, so she's gonna help herd that
I'm
drunk
cat
that's in my brain.
The drunk
right now.
baby.
The drunk baby. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna try.
Babies are not allowed to drink, by the way. That's why I said. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Go on.
I'm gonna try and summarize in less than 10 words.
Okay.
So what you're saying is that they're buying before selling.
They're buying before selling.
And they need the down payment from the sale, so now they're sort of in a specific situation.
So they went into full-on panic mode.
Oh, my goodness.
Okay. So full-on panic mode, because once upon a time they had a very similar situation that they had heard about from, I think it was their parents or something like that, which ended up causing them a lot of issues, because they had gone to the bank and the bank said, oh yeah, you have to sell before you buy, blah, 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 because the person that they were speaking to didn't know what they were really talking about. Okay. So in a situation like that, because it does happen, provided that we have a promise to purchase for the sale of your property, even if the sale occurs after the fact of when you're buying, we can set up what's called bridge financing. Okay. So for anyone that's out there that's thinking, oh my God, what do I do? How do I coordinate things? And I need the down payment. I need this. I need that. There is a way that we structure what's called bridge financing. And typically the financial institutions that we deal with, or the banks, they all do it. So if we need to get you that down payment, the bank will lend you the money for the down payment. They will condition it at the notary so that when the sale occurs, they get reimbursed those funds. And it might be for a week, it might be for a month, it might be for 2 months. But it doesn't matter. As long as we have a concrete promise to purchase on your home that you're selling, we can set up bridge financing to get you the down payment for the purchase of the other one.
Okay, makes sense. So the ideal is to sell first, get the down payment, and then purchase.
Yeah.
But if those dates don't fit in that mold and you have to purchase, the purchase date is before the sale date, then you've got bridge financing as an option.
Exactly. And unfortunately, it's not everyone that is able to do it or knows how to do this. Right? So I can't tell you how many times I've had brokers, and I've bankers for sure, brokers, they tell me, I've never done this, I've never seen this, I don't know what it is, I have no clue. Can you help me out with this? And I will help brokers from other agencies and other places structure deals exactly like that, where they're able to provide bridge financing for their clients or show them the mechanism that's used behind it. So again, this is something that we do. It's not something that happens rarely. It's something that happens often. And in many cases, it actually is a tool that you can use to make sure that you are getting top dollar. Because if you're going to force someone to buy your property maybe earlier than they should be buying it, just so that you can have that down payment, you might be sacrificing on how much they're going to give you for that purchase price.
Yeah, good point. Good point. Absolutely. I haven't seen a lot of bridge financing on my end, but I know that the brokers who work a lot with purchases and sales have seen it on their side, especially the mortgage brokers who are doing that financing. If you know what you're doing, then it could be an excellent solution.
Absolutely. I mean, the ideal is to make sure that your dates line up and everything, but it's not always the case. Okay. And a lot of people think that bridge financing is something that's going to cost you an arm and a leg. It really doesn't. It's not like the lender is not going to charge like exorbitant rates. It's the rate that you have on your mortgage. Whatever your mortgage rate is, that's what it is. You might have a couple of extra registration fees that you're going to be paying to the notary. Maybe you'll pay a little bit more at the notary here and there for certain little things. But for the most part, it's actually worth it. And I strongly, strongly encourage people not to be afraid of it. Again, as long as you have someone that knows what they're doing and they set it up properly for you, bridge financing could actually be a really interesting tool to get you to the finish line properly, faster, and
so
maximizing your money.
If your real estate broker is aware of that solution, then they won't panic with respect to the dates. They'll know that that option is available to them.
Exactly.
Perfect.
Now, the other thing that I do want to mention, when you are going to be accepting offers on your house or you're going to be buying something, I always advise people to try and stay within a very short window of time. So try and close things within within 90 days. Why? Because if you go past 90 days, now all of a sudden that could potentially open up a whole other can of worms with respect to credit, with respect to other things that it's important to make. Requalifying for that mortgage and so on and so forth. So it's important that you follow certain little guidelines and certain rules. When we come back, we're going to be taking a look at some negotiating strategies when faced with a multiple offer situation. You're listening to The Real Estate Show, and today we're talking about the right way to coordinate a sale and a purchase of a property. Feel free to visit us online at www.nordest.ca, or you can reach us at the office at 514-680-4674.
Excellent.
And I forgot to take my mask off, and I just ran out of wind as I was speaking through it.
I was wondering why that thing was still on.
I literally, as I'm wearing the mask, I'm like, why can't I breathe well? Go on, please.
So we're talking about coordinating a sale and a purchase. Now, again, selling in this market, it's a seller's market. So,
that's right.
It is easier for sellers to sell, unless there's something very wrong with the house. But most sellers are having a pretty good time in this market. But what's difficult? It's
like a big party for the sellers.
What's difficult is the buyer market.
Sorry, I had to.
The buyer market is very difficult. Again, low inventory, prices are up. Everybody's going into multiple offer situation for different homes and all that. So really, at the end of the day, we saw a lot of people who chose not to sell because of this. So they say, wait a minute, this is so hard to find a place to buy. I'd rather just not sell. And this is one of the causes also of the lack of inventory.
Exactly.
So
actually, sorry, I'm going to cut you off. I just, something really interesting.
Yeah.
I know I'm going to completely disturb your train of thought, but if I don't say this right now, I'm going to completely forget about it.
This is a discussion.
There was an interesting article that I saw this week that said that the price of real estate in Canada right now has nothing to do with where interest rates are and what interest rates are doing, but rather it's a supply and demand issue.
Sounds like something Terry Kilakos has been saying for the last 2 years. Okay,
anyways, sorry, I had to say that. I love...
Honestly, this whole thing, the last 2 years, it's because of the interest rates. It's because of the interest rates. Now, the interest rates are going to go up. They're not going to...
They're already up. and there's still the same issue.
Exactly. So they're
Okay.
not going to be able to justify what they've said. So
Exactly.
now
So now
they're
they're
going to turn to
backpedaling.
the Terry Kilakos explanation, which is supply and demand.
There you go. Okay,
which
sorry.
is
Please continue.
No worries.
Yeah.
No, I am continuing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it is a supply and demand issue, and this is why a lot of people have chosen not to sell. They're thinking, I'm going to sell, and then what?
Mm-hmm.
Now, like you said, unless they're going into, I don't know, a retirement home, they're moving to Florida, they're going into a rental property, they're buying a new construction condo, things like that, then fine. But otherwise, if you're looking to buy a property that's on the market, it's difficult.
It is. So what is the solution?
Well, look, our realtors definitely specialize in negotiating the right way when it comes to multiple offer situations, things like that. They specialize in coordinating your sale and your purchase along with the mortgage broker. So that's why it's a very team kind of environment where, okay, let's see exactly what's happening. Let's see how much money you need. Let's find out how much money you're going to be left over with after you pay the penalty, after you pay the commissions, after you pay this, after you pay that. Let's see how much you qualify for. Let's speak to your mortgage broker about how much you're pre-approved for.
Mm-hmm.
Let's look at the dates. Let's look at the different neighborhoods that you want.
And then based on that, we're able to determine and give the clients a concrete, if you will, plan and put it in place. Now you hit the nail on the head when you said negotiations. Okay, so I'm gonna upset a lot of people with what, and you just did the big eyes, okay? Because she doesn't like it when I upset people.
Well, I did call you a politician before, so anything goes at this point.
There you go. You just upset a whole bunch of people. But anyways, I will say this, okay? If you look, I don't know. I don't remember what the stats are. I don't remember how many real estate brokers there are. But the facts are facts, okay? If you look at the majority of real estate brokers out there, okay? So
I think there's a little under 20,000 in Quebec, if I remember correctly.
I don't
Anywhere
remember.
between 15 and 20,000.
Exactly. So it's a pretty big. I think it's like 17 to 20, but yeah, something to that effect. And the number has gone up in the last couple of years, okay? Because of HGTV, and you watch Selling Sunset, and you watch $1 Million Listing, and all of a sudden,
I love all those shows.
I love them too. But the reality is, people are going to watch these shows. They're going to see, this broker made, $500,000 in commission. This broker did this. This broker did that. And they think that this is the reality for every single real estate broker out there. So they decide, one day they're doing one thing, and then they're going to drop everything, and they're going to go and become a real estate broker. And a lot of them will become successful, but a lot of them will not, okay? The problem comes in, and we've had this, and I've had this with clients, and again, this week, I've had this conversation with someone where I pre-approved them, and I said to them, and I had pre-approved this couple many, many moons ago, and they came in again for another pre-approval, and I said to them, guys, please let me give you one of our realtors. We have our friend who got his license, and we want to make sure we support them. And I could appreciate that, and I support that, and I definitely want to make sure that you're supporting your friends and your family and all that stuff. But don't support people based on at the expense of your pocketbook, if you will, right? Maybe you can get that friend or family member or whatnot to collaborate with a senior broker that is able to do the transaction more effectively. So this particular couple, when they were originally looking for a property, they were looking at properties in the $600,000 range because the houses that they were looking at, that's how much they were going for. Today, their price point is $1.1 million.
Wow.
Okay, and they could afford it. But had they had the right broker in place from the get-go, chances are they would have closed many, many years ago, like 2-3 years ago, when they had originally come to see me. So this is what having the proper real estate broker representing you as a buyer. This is why it's so important. Negotiations are something that has to be taught by the agency. So the directors of the agencies, the people that work there, need to teach their brokers how to close deals, how to make sure that the deal is closed for the buyer, for the seller, effectively and properly. That way, they earn every dollar that they make. the brokers. When you're just hiring someone for the hell of hiring them, it's not a good idea. So you got to do your homework as a buyer and as a seller. Because even sellers, there's a couple of agencies out there, and this is illegal, and we've had this discussion before, where they're still undervaluing the property so that they can get bidding wars in there.
Yeah.
It's not right.
Yeah, that's definitely been a big no-no because that's how all of this got started, basically. Let me put it at a ridiculously low price, attract a bunch of eyes. Everybody's going to fight over this, and we're going to sell it at, $200,000 over asking price.
Well, yeah, no kidding. They're selling at $200,000 over asking.
Yeah, because it was undervalued in the first place.
By $200,000.
Yeah. I know. Now, look, with respect to our brokers...
Sorry, I had to rant there.
Our brokers who deal with buyers and win in multiple offers work really hard.
Yeah.
I could tell you, the ones who do well with buyers, they really shine. They know how to negotiate. They know how to network. They
know how to not take no for an answer.
Yeah, and they know how to present offers properly. Sometimes it even comes down to going back to the mortgage broker and saying, hey, can we restructure something in their finances? Can we put a bigger down payment? Can they afford to go another $100,000 or another $50,000 over asking price? Can you confirm to me that this is a green light?
Yeah.
And that's the whole idea of the team. Let's all work together to really restructure things and to really make the offer stand out.
And this is where the difference comes in. So a lot of times when you're kind of doing things on your own and you're say, I'm going to go here, I'm going to go there, I'm going to use this bank, I'm going to use this mortgage broker, I'm going to use this realtor, I'm going to use this, I'm going to do that. No one's talking to anyone. So you, as the client, you're the quarterback. You're the one that's between everything. Mm-hmm. And that's a terrible place to be because you're getting all of the stress and all of the load on you.
You're the messenger.
Exactly. So what happens in our family? In our family, being Northeast, that quarterback is the person that basically either it's the mortgage broker or the realtor, so whoever initiated that transaction. Okay, so if the client had come in for a pre-approval, the quarterback will be the mortgage broker, and the mortgage broker makes sure that everything runs smoothly. Truth be told, Olympia is the quarterback for everything because she keeps everyone accountable. But that's a whole other different conversation. Okay, so yeah. It's just really important that the right team that you surround yourself is key. When we come back, we're going to be continuing our discussion about having the right team taking care of you. You're listening to The Real Estate Show, and today we're talking about being a seller and buyer in this crazy market and how to handle doing both. Feel free to call us at the office at 514-680-4674, where Olympia is standing by to take all of your calls and texts.
Wow.
I don't know.
That was totally radio announcer.
Yes,
crazy
seriously.
market. Olympia standing by.
And you could also visit us online at nordest.ca. And you need to subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is newsonthego.ca.
And it is Sunday, so Olympia is
not necessarily standing by,
exactly.
but she'll call you back if she doesn't pick up on Sunday, which she does sometimes, by the way.
Yes.
Anyways, sorry.
So before the news, we were talking about surrounding yourself with the right team.
Yeah.
And I think where the real estate brokers who really help clients with respect to coordinating, selling, and buying, the ones who are really, really experienced will have a good network of realtors. They know how to speak to realtors. They know how to collaborate with realtors.
And collaboration, by the way, is the key word here.
Absolutely. A lot of people think it's price and all cash. We've seen people choose, if you compare two offers, price to price, same price, they're going to choose the one that's easier to work with at the end of the day. You don't want to deal with a broker who's going to, break your head, be difficult to deal with nonstop. You want to deal with a broker who's going to be a pleasure to deal with, who's going to provide you with the right documents, give
you the right price.
Yeah.
But at the same time, provide you with, in all honesty, if you guys think about it, okay, if you get two offers, think about it as a human being, right? You get two offers presented to you. They're both presented by, all the conditions are similar, price is similar. Why are you going to choose one over the other? right? Maybe it might be based on the time that they came in or something like that. But a lot of times it has to do with interpersonal skills of the broker or of the clients, right?
Yeah.
And I always give the example of us when we bought our country house. If you remember, you remember what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
So the art of the deal, right? So, love him or hate him, Donald Trump had written the book many moons ago. Merav is not a big fan, but whatever. He wrote a book,
it's a good book.
It's a good book. The book is good, okay?
Yeah.
The Art of the Deal. And there he talks about how to make, negotiate something where it ends up being a win-win for both parties. And, when we were buying our country house, I think it was in 2010 or 2008. Anyways, doesn't matter.
2009, I think, yeah.
What ended up happening, we went in and the property was for sale and there was another competing offer at the same time, except when we presented it, we came in with our family, right? And I said this would be a wonderful place to raise our kids and, to have our kids play in the yard and enjoy the lake and all that stuff. The other people that came in, what did they say?
Wow, this is a nice place. I'm going to gut this wall. I'm going to remove this carpet. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And they were heartbroken.
Yeah, because that place was actually built by their parents.
Yeah.
Right? So we bought it from a succession. The kids were selling it, and the parents had actually built that property.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, I remember the vendor of the house, one of the sons, he literally told us, I'm so happy that the house went to you guys, and I know that my parents right now are here with you guys, and they're actually, and I'm getting all emotional saying this, but
I'm getting a bit petrified of
the ghost, but it's okay. So he said, my parents are here with you guys, and they're happy the fact that this house is filled with children because this is what they always wanted.
That's true.
So how you present your deal and how you present your offer and how you present yourself as a buyer.
And how you sell your buyers to the sellers.
How your agent sells you.
Exactly.
Is important.
Absolutely.
It all comes down to the negotiations.
Absolutely. And having good relationship with other realtors is very important because you also will have little hints about properties about to go onto the market before they go on the market. So, you have to have good relationships with brokers out there. And at the end of the day, we've done a lot of sales trainings. And humans, we do business with people we like more than anything.
Yep.
It's more than people who are smart, more than people, it's with people we like.
Yep.
Somebody who's not pleasant, you don't want to do business with them.
Even if they're the smartest person in the world.
And even if they're a shark,
yep.
You might take a realtor and say, I want them because they're a shark. But if they're so unpleasant that they're turning off the other realtors from collaborating with them, how are you dealing with the right person?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's it. I think it's important that your real estate broker knows how to properly collaborate with other real estate brokers out there.
Absolutely. And I mean, the other part of the equation is you touched on the network earlier. So Northeast, we've been doing this for many moons. We have thousands upon thousands of clients. When you're part of kind of the Northeast family, you get all the listings that go up. You're going to get the email. Now, it might not be as important in this market in the sense that, chances are you put a sign on the lawn, the property is going to be sold within 2-3 days. Not worried about that, okay? But because we have this constant relationship with our customers where they're constantly coming to us, we know about the transactions as they're coming in. So when somebody wants to sell, we tend to, try and marry clients together and say, okay, you're selling, you want to buy, let's see what we can do.
Yeah, we sort of get dibs on what the client's future plans are. You're speaking to the clients about every aspect of their life, right? We have real estate brokers, mortgage brokers, and financial advisors. So they're literally speaking to us about every aspect of their life. So you're sort of put in the loop ahead of time when they plan on selling. So that gives us a little bit of an opportunity to be able to know about this potential sale before it actually goes on the market.
Yeah.
And that's one of the many ways that we find out about houses about to go on the market. That collaboration with other realtors and so many other, secret techniques that we use.
Trademarks, not trademarks, proprietary techniques that are used. And of course, obviously, again, going back to selling, we have the thousands of pre-approvals. Literally, I think...
we have a lineup of buyers ready to go. We know their credit is good. We know their buying power.
It's not thousands, but it's a lot. It's a lot. It's not thousands.
Okay.
It's not thousands.
Many, many hundreds.
It's hundreds, yeah. Okay. But there is literally hundreds of people kind of saying, okay, either I'm going to buy now, I'm going to buy later, so we put them all kind of in categories. And we say, okay, your time to buy is here. So let's start looking for you at this point. And when you want to sell, and we can, like I said, we can marry the buyers and the sellers together, it's a beautiful and wonderful thing. So why not? Everyone wins, everyone's happy, less stress for everyone, less headache, less anxiety, less and more profit, right, at the end of the day, which is important. Yeah,
absolutely. And you know what? With respect to teams, I think it's important. Where we sometimes miss out on opportunities is maybe the real estate broker is on vacation.
They're too busy.
They're busy. Or they have a visit over here, but they can't do a visit over there. So for us, it's really important that real estate brokers are surrounded with either a support team or something like that to make sure no opportunities are lost, no service goes uninterrupted. You go on vacation, you break your leg and you can't go, on the road. Whatever it is, you always have somebody to back you up. Phone calls are always answered. Visits are always done. There's no interruption in the service, and I think that's really, really important.
Yeah, the team aspect is something that I find it does lack in a lot of environments. Okay, where most agencies and most sales offices tend to be very competitive, where everyone is competing against one another. We do have a certain level of competition within Northeast where we do compete against each other, and we do have, you have to perform to be within the organization. But at the end of the day, one of the most important things for us is to make sure that everyone within our organization, within Northeast, collaborates with one another. And I cannot stress that enough. So generally, the senior brokers are going to have junior brokers working for them. And I encourage, by the way, any juniors right now that are listening to this that are like, I'm lost, I don't know what to do. Trust me, we have seniors that need help. So if you're a broker and you want to find out kind of more about coming on board and trying to help out with one of the seniors and you get paid for that and stuff, wonderful. Come on in, give us a call. It could be something interesting, right?
Yeah.
So
absolutely. We
always need good brokers.
Absolutely. I tend to agree.
I know I went off on a little bit of a tangent, but you know what? It's important. So up next, we're going to be taking a look at the benefits of dealing with a multidisciplinary firm. Thanks for tuning in. Today's discussion is about coordinating a sale and a purchase at the same time and how stressful it could be, but also how much fun it could be. I don't know. I think it's fun.
It is fun. It's always exciting to sell a house. It's always exciting to buy a house.
Yeah.
But definitely could be very, very stressful if it's not done properly.
Okay, so we started touching on what a multidisciplinary firm was before when we talked about what Northeast does and how we do things. So why don't you give the proper definition of what a multidisciplinary firm is?
So look, what we do at Northeast, which I love because it's under one roof, but it's really under one company. That's the important part. Northeast has the licenses to become a mortgage broker, a real estate broker, or a financial advisor. So this is not done on a referral basis. It's not one company who has a real estate broker within the company that works for someone else and a mortgage and a financial advisor from another company who works within. It's really one company. You're dealing with a Northeast real estate broker, a Northeast mortgage broker, and a Northeast financial advisor when you deal with one of our professionals. I think the reason why it's important to do that is for communication purposes.
Well, that's number one, right?
It's the most important thing because everything is interconnected, everything is interrelated, everything affects one another. So that's the strength of Northeast. We have everything in-house, and when a client comes in for their real estate, mortgage, or financial needs, we know the full financial picture. Yeah. And that's really important.
And, for those of you that are saying, well, I have all of these things. So I have a mortgage broker, I have a financial advisor, I have a realtor, and they're not under the same roof. Think of it like this, okay? I'll give you an example of a customer that would come to see me, let's say a young couple looking to buy their first property. So, you come in, you get a pre-approval with me. Once I'm doing a pre-approval with you, maybe I'll identify something. Maybe I'll see a weakness in your down payment. Maybe I'm going to see a weakness in your budget, your credit, something along those lines, okay? If I see weakness in one of those elements, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that file and I'm going to hand it over to Mary or Betty or Christian, one of the advisors, right? And I'm going to say, can we help this client structure a larger down payment, whether it be by getting some RSPs, whether it would be by whatever, okay? So we help them structure that part. Once they've done that, then that financial security advisor would take the file and they would actually hand it back to the broker and say, okay, so the client now has the down payment properly structured. Okay, once the down payment is properly structured, let's say that's where the weakness was, we'll take that client and we hand it off to the realtor. When the realtor gets it, now the realtor is in constant communication with the mortgage broker. So the mortgage broker and the realtor are constantly talking with one another, not necessarily getting the client involved in every discussion. Okay, and this is key because this reduces the client's stress level. So I can tell you, when that dialogue occurs, so for example, I have brokers that'll call me at 9, 10 o'clock at night on a Saturday night because the next day they're going to go make an offer on a property and the real estate broker wants to know what numbers we can go to,
how high we can go,
how high we can go, what the client's budget is, what, all those things. So we're going to fine tune those details. Then we prepare the pre-qualifications based on that, and they're able to go and make an offer on that property knowing that they would actually qualify for it properly. Then the file comes, once the offer is accepted, the offer comes back to us, we conclude the mortgage, and where most mortgage brokers or most bankers, what they're going to do is they're going to try and sell mortgage life insurance. We don't do that. I don't believe in mortgage life insurance. I never have, I never will. So back in the day, so in 1999, I started working at Investors Group. I worked as a financial securities advisor. And when I was working there, I was doing everything in my power to make sure to educate people that they should never get mortgage life insurance. Now, let me just make sure that you understand this. I'm putting a big asterisk on this. You need to have life insurance, but you need to have the right type of life insurance. And if you don't have the right type of life insurance, everything could just fall apart. God forbid something happens.
Yeah, and I think it's important that you mention why you don't believe in mortgage life insurance with respect to that the coverage reduces as time goes by because it really just covers your mortgage amount.
There is a slew of factors.
But the two most important ones, your coverage reduces with time and also the beneficiary is the bank because the whole goal is to pay back the mortgage.
Exactly.
Okay, so that's, I think, the main two ones. Of course, we're not financial security advisors, so you should definitely verify with your own financial security advisor or Northeast.
Or one of ours at Northeast.
But, I mean, at the end of the day, it is important for them to have life insurance. So I totally interrupted you there. What did you want to say with respect to that?
So what we're going to do is, as opposed to selling them a product that is terrible for them, what we're going to do is we're going to hand them over to a professional, back again to the financial security advisor that helped them structure their down payment and get them properly insured to protect their patrimony. It's as simple as that, right? And then the circle basically of life is complete. Everyone is happy. Everyone is taken care of. And interestingly enough, because that client has chosen to do business across multiple platforms with us, what ends up happening, the touch points with that client over the lifespan of that mortgage or over the lifespan of the service that we're offering continues. I've always said, and I've always prided myself on this, my job doesn't end when you get a mortgage. My job begins when you get a mortgage, right? So because my job begins when you get a mortgage, but I can't be the person, I'd love to be able to pick up the phone and call everyone every single month and say, hey, you know what? What's going on? How's the house? How's this? How's that? I can't do that just because of the sheer number of people that we have. But because I work in a team environment, I'm going to reach out at some point. The financial security advisor is going to reach out at some point. The realtor is going to reach out at some point. And whenever there's any type of issue, the client knows that they have multiple people that they can reach out to be able to solve these problems, right? Or issues or whatever, or, they might have questions about something, which is a beautiful thing.
At every stage of your life, you're always facing situations, good and bad.
Yeah.
And it's important to be surrounded with the right people to basically hold your hand throughout these types of situations. It could be, you get pregnant with triplets and you have to get a bigger house. It could be, unfortunately, divorces, deaths, transfer to another country for a job, whatever it is.
And we've seen it all.
We've seen it all and more. And it's important to be surrounded with the right people and the people who, I think, like you said, Terry, who communicate with each other so that you're not the messenger in this. You're actually the person receiving the full service. And that's the important thing.
Yeah.
And also messages get broken, when you transfer information from one professional to another versus them communicating with each other directly.
Exactly. And of course, and now, for those of you that are kind of listening, going, okay, what more is it? And for me, we're going to offer promotions. We're going to have incentives. Do a mortgage and a real estate transaction with us, and you might get something. Depending on the time of year, depending on what we're doing, depending on promos that are going on. So we offer all kinds of incentives and perks and stuff like that when you do multiple transactions with us, which sometimes goes a long way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
So, I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
I totally
Everything?
agree.
Yeah.
And again, whether it's with Northeast or with another company, I know that in Quebec, we're one of the only ones who really have all three licenses under one roof. So whatever it is, I do recommend that you have the proper team surrounding you. That's really the most important.
Merav, we've run out of real estate. If people want to get a hold of us,
you can reach us at the office at 514-680-4674 or online at nordest.ca.
Till next week, everyone. Have a blessed week. Love you all.
Northeast is the call to make. Whether you're buying your first home or you're a seasoned investor, Terry Kilakos and his team of mortgage and real estate brokers can help. It's simple and it's free. Make your dreams come true. Call Northeast.